What's up, everybody? We're here with Five Fan Culture Podcast. I'm here with my boy Isaac and our boy Bryen Dao. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little hungover from celebrating the win.
Oh, nice.
But I'm all good though. I got some coffee in me.
Congratulations on that win, man. That was a really big fight. That was a nice fight, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Let's talk about the fight a little bit, man. I unfortunately wasn't able to attend. My guy HAYK right here was there, you know, cage side, seeing the whole fight. Your preparation going into that fight. Let's talk a little bit about that.
My preparation, it was very I made it very vigorous for myself. I made it very hard on myself because I knew I had a tough opponent. You know, I knew I had a tough opponent, and I couldn't doubt him. I couldn't put him aside. I couldn't take him lightly because I knew he had heart. Now I seen his fights, you know, despite his record being 3-6 at the time, I couldn't doubt him, bro. Like, I treat every fight as a championship fight. I don't care if they're 5-0. I don't care if they're 4-5 or 0-5. I'm always treat every opponent the same way because everybody has a puncher's chance, especially in MMA. Especially, there's so many factors in how they could beat me. And on top of that, we have small gloves. It's the same shit as getting hit with bare knuckle, you know? That glove is only designed to protect the person that's punching, not the person that's getting hit.
Yeah, facts. And man, so this is your 6th professional fight. I kind of want to dive deep a little bit into the people that don't know you and just kind of talk about your career. You told me you're from like Bellflower, Norwalk area, outside of off camera. Let's talk a little bit about young Bryen Dao. Like, who were you as a kid growing up?
Honestly, as a young kid, I was a quiet kid. I was to myself, you know, and I was training, but not like that, you know. Like, my coaches at the time, a lot of people would tell me, "You're talented, you're good," but I just didn't believe in myself at the time, you know. And it's probably me being young at the time and getting distracted with other things. I wanted to hang out with the homies. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to, you know, do all the stuff that all the young kids do. But yeah, by the time I hit like 18, 19, that's when I started taking it seriously for real. But I started training when I was like 10 years old, but I didn't really take it seriously like that though.
What was your first martial arts that you trained?
My first martial art was Muay Thai. Yeah, so I'm a striker. That's where I started from.
Yeah.
It's a good base to start from right there, right? What made you want to start Muay Thai over any other?
Well, I heard about it because of my cousin's dad, my uncle. At the time, he was doing that. He was doing Muay Thai. He was training out of a place in Whittier. And then he introduced me to his coach and his gym and stuff like that. And then he put me on to Muay Thai. If anything, at first, I wanted to be like a kickboxer at first. I wanted to be like Van Damme, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because when he told me about Muay Thai and he showed me it, I looked it up and he's like, "Oh yeah, watch Van Damme, watch Kickboxer and stuff like that."
That's a good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I got the inspiration off of that when he was kicking the banana tree and stuff. I was just like, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to be a kickboxer." And then I started watching K1 and all that, man. And then it just came down to me watching UFC, and it just, yeah, bro. I'm inspired by a lot of fighters, man. Like, I guess you could say I'm a nerd for the fight game, man. That's just what it is.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? You got to be a nerd if you want to get better.
Well, that's how you learn too, because these guys are where you want to be. So you're kind of watching them like when you're a little kid and watching the NFL, and you're like, let's go try out that play or something. It's almost the same way where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna practice this in the gym and maybe try it in my next fight. You see your favorite fighter do it, you kind of want to emulate them and try to,
you know, you know, it's kind of funny because it's like at first, that's the first like obstacle I had to get over, because that's what was tripping me up at first, because I'm just like, damn, I used to be a kid watching these guys. When I was a kid, I used to dream of being in this position. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
It's time to wake up, bro. Like, throw that shit aside, man, because I'm starstruck to be in my own position, you know? It's still surreal to me. I'm still low-key getting used to it. But at first I was like, man, I gotta throw this aside, man. Like, you're here now. This is your reality. And it's crazy to see how far I came, man.
And how old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah, see,
That's
man,
young.
you're still young.
Young, yeah.
And the fact that, sorry, man, the fact that you started training at such a young age, I feel like now kids are doing that, right? Because you got the popularity of the UFC, obviously won championships, making a big American push. So now kids, let's say the last 5 years or so, have started wanting to train martial arts. But, you know, 13 years ago, when you were 10 years old, that wasn't like the norm.
Yeah. And what's funny is like everybody's all about UFC and they mention Conor and all that but like when I grew up doing this, I did it for the love of it. I did it before it was cool. I did it before I knew who Conor McGregor was, man. Like, yeah, bro, I did this before this shit was cool. Like when I would tell people like, oh, I do kickboxing or I do MMA or whatever, they're like, fuck is that? You know, like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? So is that like karate or something? But yeah, man. It's crazy to see how far the sport has evolved and now it's mainstream.
Yeah.
And at the age of 23, you already have, what, 6 pro fights, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You're 4-2. That's a
Solid record.
pretty solid record. And the opponents you lost against were pretty badass dudes.
Yeah,
you lost
they
against
were killers, man.
Anthony Romero, right?
Anthony Romero, yeah. And
He's called
my
a bully,
first
bro.
fight,
That fight, bro. I have blood on my shirt, on my camera.
Oh, I got you too? I splashed you too?
Everybody.
Oh
bro.
my God.
I look at the scorecards, the referee's scorecards. There was blood everywhere.
I
That was
thought
a
the
bloodbath.
commentators were the only ones that got blood on
no,
them. So you were in the splash zone too.
Yes,
Oh my God, bro.
The schmo had blood dripping down his eye. There was blood everywhere. That was a bloodbath, and that was one of the main fights where I'm like, damn, this dude has a major chin. You got a chin on you because you guys were both going at it, and I think that was fight of the night also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy to say one of the fights that I lost actually helped put me on the map too.
Oh, for
man.
sure. Honestly, that was the first time that I seen you fight live because I had saw some stuff online prior to that fight, but I was there as well, and I was filming Taco and some of his stuff. But I remember watching that fight. I was like, I don't know who this Bryen Dao kid is, but this dude's a fucking animal, bro.
Curtis came up to me because we talked between fights. He's like, this is gonna be an amazing fight. And I didn't really know either of you guys. And when you guys both came up and just started slugging it out, I'm like, it's like a fighter's dream, you know, because it was not too much ground game. There was some ground game in it, but it was like almost like a one championship stand and bang, you know? It's like almost you guys agreed that we're just gonna stand and we're just gonna throw it down. And it was beautiful, bro. I loved it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And you kind of returned the favor to your opponent in the last fight. You bloodied him up too. You got him good, and that guy did not stop. He looked like a fucking psychopath, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fought this guy with that face, and you just kept slugging him, and he's just like coming straight face at you with a smile. It's like, how does that affect you? Because you're throwing everything at him, and he's not going down. How does that affect you mentally, bro?
Real quick, I know my guy is like super excited because I've never seen him move so much in a podcast before.
Hell yeah, bro.
Just moving and
I want to get into it too because it was like
he's over here hitting the bags and shit like that. He's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna restart my boxing career, man. Let me rub off the dust.
37 years old, but let's do it, bro.
yeah, talk about it, bro.
But honestly, if it's crazy that you bring up the Romero fight. I feel like because I went through that fight, I learned so much. And because Anthony was fucking me up and talking shit at the same time, I already was used to that element. So by the time I fought Carlos Figueroa and he was doing that, I was just like, oh, I'm already used to this. I already been through this already. And I already trained with guys prior that like to talk shit during training.
Yeah.
I like to talk shit during training. I like to talk shit while I fight as well. So I'm gonna be real. That's the funnest, like, that's the most fun I had in the fight, bro. I probably say that was like my funnest fight ever. Cause it's like not only was I, you know, beating them up or we were beating each other up, we were both talking shit to each other, man. Honestly, to me, it felt like you know, when you play your friends in a video game or a game and you're just talking shit and like, or even in Madden or whatever, you know how it gets crazy in Madden and you're talking shit with your homies or you're playing 2K. It was like that, but with fighting, real life shit, you know, like it wasn't how do I say it? It wasn't confrontational. It wasn't because I hated you. Oh, I don't like the way you look or woo. No, it was because like me and him already had mutual respect for each other before we walked in. I knew he came from he trained with Scrap Pack and he trained in NorCal with Diaz and them guys and he trained with Rosas. I already respected him, man. So by the time we got in there, we were already homies, almost like we were like homies talking shit on 2K or playing Madden, you know what I'm saying? It was funny because it's like, I think he clipped me the first time and I don't really speak Spanish like that. I just thought it was funny. I feel like that's the reason why I was able to just like whatever. But from what I remember, bro, was just like, he clipped me with the overhand and then he was just like something, he said, pinche puto. He was speaking Spanish. And then he saw I didn't react to it because I don't speak Spanish. And that's when he switched to English and that's when he started talking shit in English. He was, you know what, let me switch up my game and talk shit to him in English. And then I started talking shit back to him. It was fun, man.
And right when that happened, I started seeing your bench getting more vocal and trying to keep you in your game plan. They were saying, you know, he's just playing mind games and they constantly were keeping you in your game too. So how did that affect you? Do you hear them or was that just
honestly, I heard a little bit, but because I have such a good relationship with my corner and we have good communication, we have such a good communication, I don't need to hear them. I already know what they're thinking. We trained for like 3-4 months, so it's like I know who I put in my corner, you know, I make sure to have good communication with them. So when I can't hear them, I know what they're thinking already. What they want me to do is already second nature because I worked on it already with these people, you know what I'm saying? And when it came down to him and the antics, I'm not gonna lie, it got to me a little bit, not because of him shit talking, but it got to me because I feel like I underestimated his toughness, you know? I told you know, my coaches, I even told my homies, like, watch this, round 2, I'm taking him out. Because I knew he was a durable dude. I knew I wasn't going to finish him in the first round like I did in my last fight with my last opponent. Yeah. I knew this dude was a tough, you know, Mexican, you know? I knew he was a tough fucking dude, man. He was a gritty dude. He don't give up, you know? So I predicted round 2, like near the end of round 2, I was going to put him away. But once I got past round 2, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be an all-night bender, man. Looks like we're gonna like sling it out, bro. It looks like this is gonna be a shootout, but I have to stay composed and make sure that I don't get hurt myself. But yeah, man, like that's what got to me was the fact that he was willing to take so much damage. Yeah. Because I was like, bro, you took 10, 11 calf kicks in the same spot. And you're still talking shit to me. You're still swinging. You're still smiling.
Like you said, he was out here training with the Diaz bros up North Cal. So you know he might have got a little bit of that Diaz.
He probably got that influence, man.
You know what? My favorite comment before the fight during weigh-ins, he said, "I'm glad I'm fighting an opponent that's not gonna sniff my crotch the whole fight." From then, I was like, okay, you know, this is gonna be a battle, but it's like you could tell there was mutual respect for both of you guys, and when you guys came in the ring, it just showed, you know.
The anticipation was there. We're excited, man, and honestly, like that's one thing me and him had in common. That's why I respect him so much. I could tell right off the bat already. I could read the energies that me and him. We were very similar because we're exciting fighters, man. We're cut from the same cloth, you know? So when he said that, I was just like, yeah, damn right. There ain't gonna be no crotch sniffing today, boy. We throwing putazos, baby.
And I kind of want to talk a little bit about like the striking and your style. You know, from my fights, obviously, like you say, you're a striker, Muay Thai base. I kind of see a little bit of like almost like a Max Holloway kind of vibe to it. You know, just because your length and the way that you're striking. If you were to explain your style to somebody who's never seen you fight, how would you explain that?
Honestly, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. When I first started training with Crew Rod, he told me that, and even a few UFC guys that I sparred and got in rounds with and before, they even told me that. Shout out to Giga Chikadze, the ninja, because he even told me that. And because at the time he wanted that fight. I think he still does, but at the time he wanted that fight. And it was funny, we had like a little inside joke, and he was just like, "You look like Max Holloway, I want that fight." And he would just take it out on me because Max Holloway would never reply to him, and they never fought. So he would just take out that energy on me. He was like, "Nah, I want you because you look like Max Holloway, I want that fight." But as of right now, you'll be my Max Holloway.
That's funny, man. Yeah. So how would you describe your style to somebody?
My style, honestly, I like to fight technical, you know, like I like to fight on the outside. Like right off rip, I'll try and fight strategic. I'll go by the game plan. But as you guys seen, you know, if the game plan doesn't work, all else fails. Okay, we'll go World War III. I'll brawl if I have to. I'll scrap if I have to, man, because I was a scrapper first.
Yeah, and to your point, like that's one of the things that you gotta have intentional, strategic aggression, right?
Yeah.
As a fighter and as a fighter of your caliber. And that's something that at 23, I'm already seeing, man. So I'm excited to see how your career progresses and how you grow as just a martial artist in these next couple of years, because you have that grit, right? Where if we need to throw down, we'll throw down, but it's not reckless. It's still strategic. It's still controlled aggression. So, you know, I guess we can probably credit that from you being in the game for so long, man.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go back a little bit to the upbringing again and transition from 10 years old to high school, Bryen. Like, what was high school Bryen like?
Honestly, I was somebody just like, I was like any other kid. I'm just trying to figure shit out. I was just trying to figure it out. I didn't know who I was, you know. Being a fighter, it was on my mind, but I didn't have as much confidence in myself at that time, you know. It's something that I said, I was like, you know what, yeah, I want to be a fighter, but I didn't have as much, like, how do I say it, like oomph behind that. I didn't have as much, you know, like pressure behind that, you know, like I wasn't really applying a pressure to it, as I say, you know, as I wanted to, you know, like I would say I want to be a fighter. I would train like here and there, you know, but not like, I didn't apply any real pressure to it. You get what I'm saying?
And did you do anything in high school outside of obviously training and stuff like that?
I did track and I did wrestling my freshman year. I just wrestled 1 year. And after that, I think I did track my 10th and 11th grade of high school. And after that, I didn't really do sports like that.
Makes sense, man. I mean, a lot, and that's the cool thing is you see these stories of these different fighters, and I'm always interested in the stories of like, how do they get to want to punch somebody in the face to make a living? You know what I mean? Like, because all of us train. Everybody that's part of fight fan culture, we all train, and but personally, I don't want to make a living getting punched in the face. I love the martial arts aspect of it, and I guess another thing I love about it is everybody that I've met, 99.9% of everybody I met in the community, they're so humble, bro. And
Gotta be.
I come from the music industry. Prior to me getting into combat sports, I did music. I was an audio engineer, producer, things like that. And everybody's just stepping on each other, trying to get to the top, right? Where in martial arts, whether you're a fighter or you're just practicing a martial artist, whatever, it's almost like a family, man. So was part of that family vibe something that you just like gravitated towards throughout your career?
Sorry, say it one more time.
Was that family vibe that martial arts brings, was that something you gravitated towards throughout your career?
For sure. Even though it's at the end of the day, even though it's an independent sport and it's just me that's stepping in there, I believe it's a team sport as well. You know, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that proud around and pump my chest on and be like, I'm self-made. No, like if anything, I was made, you know, because of my coaches, because of my team behind me. They're the ones that helped build me up. You know, I'll never, you know, forget my roots. I'll never forget where I came from, and that's another reason why I fight, because I want to credit those people that brought me up. You know.
That's rare in this industry. Like not in this industry, but when people get pro and they get up there, it's very rare for them to kind of still
Like remember
remember and pay tribute to their where they came from. You know, their upbringings, and because a lot of them are like, you know, it's just I did this. It's all me. You know, without me, there wouldn't be the coaches. But it's like, without the coaches, it wouldn't be you. They put their knowledge into you, and it's up to you to learn it and go from there with that. So, not a lot of in these types of industries, not a lot of people like to acknowledge that. You know, so
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. I owe it all. I owe it all to my team, man. I owe it all to, you know, guys like Coach Rod, Coach Colin Oyama, Benio Dariush, even my childhood, you know, coach that I grew up with. I want you guys to shout him out too, Renato Babalu Sobral, man.
Okay.
Like he brought me into this game, man. He's the one that really pushed me to to fight, man, and to believe in myself. Cause like I said, I was like, my foot was, what's that word? What's that saying? I wasn't all in, you know. I was half in, half out, you know. And then he fucking just pushed me in that room. Like, no, bro, you're talented, man. Like, you're fucking talented. Either you want this or you're not. What are you doing, you know? So shout out Renato Babalu Sobral, because he was the first one to really bring me up, you know.
Well, Bryen, I appreciate your time. We just got a few more questions. I want to wrap it up because I know you're trying to get in the ring and you know, do some sparring rounds.
Yeah,
I want to
gotta
take
help out my boy, man.
There you go. You were talking about paying tribute to your coaches and things like that. I just want to talk a little bit about the future. So you're 23 years old, 4-2, already 6 professional fights.
Crazy.
Let's say 2024, this year, what is your goal for the end of this year?
Our goal for the end of this year, honestly, probably fight, obviously again, probably fight 2 more times, and then just see where I go from there, you know, just slowly build myself up, because like you said, I'm still young in the game, man. I still have a lot of ground to cover. I still have a lot of things to pick up on and get better at.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal right there, is to basically just grow as a fighter, pick up new things as I go.
I'm sure, obviously, the ultimate goal is probably to get to the big show, right?
Of course, yeah.
So what does that path look like? If you can write this story, right? We live in a perfect world. How would that path look like to you?
I'd probably say maybe take a few more fights, catch maybe like a couple more bodies, you know, and then hopefully, whether it's the Dana White Contender Series that hits me up, or whether it's one or whatever, I'm open to anything, man.
would love to see you in
Bellator, all of it, man.
Would love to see you in the one, bro. That's the type of style I see your fight style as. That kind of fits the best in that, you know, the one championship stand up, you know, Muay Thai, the old school stuff.
Exactly, and I would love to have the opportunity to go to Singapore, to go to Asia, because at the end of the day, I'm an American boy, you know. So I would like to see Thailand and Singapore. I haven't really like been out there yet. I've only been to like Vietnam and the Philippines. That's it. But I would love to have the opportunity to go out to Singapore.
Yeah, Muay Thai is on a different level over there, you know.
Yeah, man, those guys are killers, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. I just got a couple last fun questions, and then I'm gonna get you out of here. So we have UFC 300 coming up, bro. I need your predictions, bro. What fight are you most excited to see? And then you have any predictions for the main card?
Oh man, the fight that I'm most excited to see is Justin Gaethje and my twin, Max Holloway, man. Something tells me Something tells me, what you call it. I'm not saying this just because he's my twin, man. Who knows? But I feel like Holloway will pull it off, man.
Okay. How does he win?
I feel like unanimous decision. I feel like he's gonna piece him up and just run up the numbers like he always does.
And then obviously we have the main event, which is Pereira, the reigning champion, and we got Jamal Hill coming out of his 8-month injury hiatus. Who do you see winning that fight and how?
Oh man, I want to say Pereira, but I don't know. Something tells me, man. Something tells me. I got Jamal on this one because every time I counted Jamal out, he came out and won, bro. Yeah. So I got Jamal. I like the underdog. I like the odds of the underdog, so I'm gonna go for the underdog, man. So I got Jamal Hill.
You got any final questions?
Nah, man, it was just really good talking to you, bro. Can't wait to see what's up next for you, and just best of luck to you.
Man, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much, brother.
Appreciate you guys for the opportunity, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys for driving all the way out here.
All right, brother. Any last thoughts for you?
No, I just like to shout out Team Victory. I would like to thank Coach Rod. Shout out to Team Oyama, Coach Colin, and I would like to shout out Babalu's Iron Gym as well, because they brought me up when I was a kid. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
Coach Rod, thanks for letting us use your space. You got any shout outs or anything?
You know what? Well, first of all, thank you guys for coming today. I appreciate you guys covering, Bryen. Amazing fighter. Definitely he needs all the coverage as he can get. Shout out to, shout out to Team Victory, Team Bully Buster, all the fighters here, all the competitors here. And most of all, man, just overall, man, God bless everybody in this fight scene, and especially in SoCal. Everybody, man, keep up the good work, man. Let's keep it going. From MMA to boxing to Muay Thai, man. I'm just all for everybody, man. Doesn't matter what gym. Man, let's keep this thing going.
Awesome. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of the Fight Fan Culture Podcast with Bryen Dao, Isaac Lawrence, HAYK, and I say we out, guys.